The morning sun rose over New York City, just like any other day in 2145. The gleaming towers of the Global Earth Federation headquarters reflected the golden light, their solar panels absorbing energy to power the peaceful civilization humanity had built. Inside the main control room, Military Commander James Reed sipped his coffee, reviewing the routine morning reports. That's when every screen in the room turned red. "Sir," shouted one of the operators, his fingers flying across the holographic display. Multiple unknown objects just appeared past the moon's orbit. They're massive. Reed put down his coffee and straightened his uniform. After 20 years of service, he had never seen readings like these. "Show me," he ordered. The main screen lit up with an image that would forever change human history. Hundreds of sleek, metallic ships, each larger than Earth's biggest city, hung in space like dark clouds before a storm. Their designs were completely alien, with smooth curves and glowing patterns that defied human engineering. Before anyone could react, every communication device on Earth activated simultaneously. A deep, echoing voice filled the air, speaking perfect English with an unsettling artificial tone. "People of Earth," the voice announced, "we are the Galactic Council, rulers of civilized space. Your species has been evaluated and found wanting. Your history of violence and warfare makes you unfit for independent membership in galactic society. Surrender now and accept your place as a protected colony under our guidance. Resist and face extinction." Reed's jaw tightened. Around him, the control room had fallen silent. 20 billion people across Earth heard the same message, translated into every human language. "Sir," his communications officer whispered, "they're blocking all outgoing transmissions except for a single channel. They want our answer in 10 minutes. Reed pressed the emergency button, connecting him to the Federation president and other world leaders in their secure bunker. Their faces appeared on his screen, some afraid, others angry, but all waiting for his military assessment. "Madam President," Reed reported, "their technology is far beyond ours. But they've made 3 critical mistakes. First, they announced themselves instead of striking without warning. Second, they gave us time to think. And third," he allowed himself a small smile, "they have no idea what humanity is truly capable of." The president nodded. "Send our response, Commander. Let's show them why you don't corner a species that survived ice ages, plagues, and its own nuclear weapons." Reed opened the communication channel to the alien fleet. His voice was calm and clear as he delivered humanity's answer. "Galactic Council, you speak of our violent history. Yet here you are, threatening genocide against a peaceful civilization. We have fought ourselves for thousands of years, yes, but that means we know war better than anyone. Earth does not surrender. Earth does not bow. Your evaluation of humanity is about to be updated." The alien response was immediate. Energy beams lanced down from their ships, targeting military bases. But humanity had not been idle in the decades since first contact incidents. Hidden shield generators, reverse-engineered from crashed alien craft and improved by human innovation, sprang to life around every major city. The alien weapons splashed harmlessly against barriers they never expected Earth to possess. "Launch the orbital defense platforms," Reed commanded. "Show them what happens when you underestimate humanity." Hundreds of satellites, disguised as communication relays, revealed their true nature. Advanced rail guns, powered by simple but effective human engineering, opened fire on the alien fleet. The first volley caught them completely by surprise, their shields optimized for energy weapons, not kinetic impacts. 3 alien ships exploded before they could adapt. The Galactic Council's response came swiftly. "Impossible. Your species should not have this level of technology. You will pay for this defiance." More alien ships appeared, darkening Earth's skies, but in underground bases across the planet. Humanity's real weapons were awakening. Decades of preparing for this very scenario were about to pay off. Reed watched as the first wave of Earth's own spacecraft launched from hidden bases, They were smaller than the alien ships, but packed with human ingenuity and determination. The war for Earth's freedom had begun, and humanity would show the galaxy exactly why you don't judge a species by its past. The Galactic Council was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't the weapons they'd built. It was their refusal to ever give up. The battle above Earth had been raging for 6 hours. Commander Reed stood in the emergency command bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, watching the holographic display of the ongoing space battle. His uniform was wrinkled, and empty coffee cups littered his desk. "Status report," he ordered. "Sir, our shields are holding at 82% worldwide," reported Lieutenant Mary Parker, her eyes fixed on the data streams. "The Council didn't expect us to have energy shields at all. Their weapons were designed to penetrate simple metal and concrete." A small smile crossed Reed's face. The aliens' arrogance was working against them. They had assumed Earth would be defenseless, an easy target for their advanced weapons. Instead, they found themselves facing technology that shouldn't have existed on Earth. "Sir," another officer called out, "Dr. Miller's team is ready in Australia. They want to test the new weapon." Reed nodded. "Give them the green light. Let's show the Council another surprise." On the Australian coast, Dr. Anna Miller and her team activated their secret project. A massive cannon, hidden inside what appeared to be a normal mountain, powered up. They had built it using technology reverse engineered from a crashed alien scout ship found in the outback 30 years ago. The weapon charged silently, gathering energy from Earth's magnetic field. Above, one of the largest Council battleships moved into position, preparing to launch another attack on Sydney. "Target locked," Dr. Miller announced over the comm. "Firing in 3, 2, 1. A brilliant beam of blue energy shot up from the fake mountain, slicing through the darkness. The Council ship's shields, designed to stop their own weapons, failed instantly against the modified human version. The massive alien vessel split in half, its crew never knowing what hit them. In the Council's command ship, the alien leader watched in disbelief. "Impossible," he roared, his translator making his alien voice sound harsh and mechanical. "These primitives cannot have such weapons. Where did they get this technology?" Back in the bunker, Reed received an urgent message. Captain John West's voice crackled through the speakers. "Commander, the Council ships are regrouping. But we've spotted something interesting. They're protecting their right flanks. Their ships have a weakness." Reed leaned forward, studying the enemy formation. "Explain, Captain." "Their shield generators are all placed on the left side of their ships," West reported excitedly. "It's like they've never fought an enemy that could outmaneuver them. They're not used to defending from all directions." This was the advantage humanity needed. Reed quickly formed a plan. "All fighter squadrons, this is Commander Reed. Focus your attacks on the right side of their ships, and get me those old missile submarines. I have an idea." Across Earth's oceans, nuclear submarines that had been retired years ago powered up their engines. They had been kept operational in secret, modified with new technology. Now, instead of carrying nuclear weapons, they carried something even more surprising. "Launch the space pods," Reed ordered. The submarines released hundreds of small pods. These pods, using gravity manipulation technology copied from alien wreckage, shot up through the water and into space. Each one carried a team of Earth's best soldiers, trained in secret for years for space combat. The Council never saw them coming. Their sensors, designed to detect engine energy, missed the gravity-powered pods completely. The first sign of trouble was when Earth's soldiers landed on their ships' hulls, cutting their way inside with plasma torches. "The humans are boarding our vessels." The Council commander's voice shook with disbelief. "How are they surviving in space? Their species only achieved orbit a century ago." But humanity had more surprises. The boarding teams wore suits made with materials developed from studying alien technology. They moved through the Council ships with ease, their years of training paying off as they captured vessel after vessel. In the command bunker, Reed watched as humanity's counterattacks succeeded beyond their wildest hopes. The Council had expected to find a primitive species ready for conquest. Instead, they found an enemy that had spent decades preparing for this very day. "Send a message to the Council," Reed ordered, his voice firm. "Tell them this is just the beginning. Earth has many more surprises waiting. They can retreat now, or learn exactly how creative humans can be when we're fighting for our freedom." As the message was sent, more hidden weapons activated around the planet. Humanity was done hiding its strength. The real war was about to begin, and Earth was ready. Dr. Anna Miller stood in her underground laboratory, surrounded by holographic displays showing Earth's defensive network coming alive. After decades of secrecy, humanity was finally revealing its full military might. "Activate the moon base," she ordered, her voice steady despite the lack of sleep. The hidden facilities beneath the lunar surface had been her life's work for the past 15 years. Deep under the moon's gray dust, massive doors slid open. Factory assembly lines that had been building weapons in secret for years increased their production to maximum speed. Robotic workers, designed to operate in the low gravity, moved with precise efficiency. In the command bunker, Commander Reed received the update. "Sir, Moonbase is operational. Dr. Miller reports the first batch of advanced fighters will launch in 20 minutes. "Good," Reed nodded. "They think they've seen all our tricks. Time to show them what human mass production looks like." The Council ships had regrouped after their initial losses, forming a tight defensive formation. Their commander was furious at being humiliated by what they had considered a primitive species. "These humans cannot maintain this level of resistance," the Council leader declared. "Their resources must be nearly depleted. Prepare for the final attack." But as the Council fleet moved forward, their sensors detected new energy signatures from the moon. Hundreds of sleek fighter craft rose from hidden hangars, their hulls gleaming with a special metal that absorbed enemy scanner beams. "Impossible," the Council commander shouted. "They have a base on their moon. How did we miss this?" Dr. Miller smiled as she watched the fighters launch. Each one carried her latest invention, a device that could disrupt the Council's shield frequencies. It was based on technology they had recovered from a Council scout ship that had crashed in the Arctic 30 years ago. "All fighters, execute attack pattern Delta," she commanded. "Show them why you don't underestimate human pilots." The Earth fighters moved with incredible speed and coordination. Unlike the Council's automated ships, these were piloted by humans who had trained in secret for years. They flew in ways the Council's combat computers couldn't predict, using maneuvers that seemed to defy physics. "Ma'am," one of Dr. Miller's assistants called out, "the Council ships are trying to adapt their shields, just as you predicted." "Perfect," Miller replied. "Activate the frequency scramblers now." Every Earth fighter simultaneously activated their disruption devices. The Council ship's shields flickered and failed, leaving them exposed to attack for crucial seconds. In those moments, Earth's fighters struck with devastating precision. Council ships began exploding across space, their advanced technology useless against human determination and preparation. But Earth wasn't done revealing its secrets. From the far side of the moon, massive cannons emerged from hidden craters. These weapons had been built using a combination of human innovation and reversed-engineered alien technology. "All lunar batteries, open fire," Commander Reed ordered. "Let's show them the full power of human engineering." The moon lit up as the cannons fired, sending powerful energy beams through space. The Council fleet, already struggling against the fighters, now faced bombardment from weapons they never knew existed. "How is this possible?" the Council commander demanded. Their moon was supposed to be nothing but a barren rock. In her lab, Dr. Miller activated her final surprise. "Launching orbital defense satellites now," she announced. Small objects, previously disguised as space debris, came to life. They formed an energy web around Earth, creating a protective barrier stronger than anything the Council had encountered. The Council fleet found itself trapped between the moon's cannons, Earth's fighters, And now this new energy web. Their carefully planned invasion was falling apart. Commander Reed stood in the bunker, watching the battle unfold. "Send a message to the Council," he ordered. "Tell them this is humanity's formal response to their demand for surrender. We're not just defending Earth anymore. We're taking the fight to them." As the message was sent, more hidden facilities across the solar system began powering up. Bases on Mars, weapon platforms in the asteroid belt, and research stations on Europa. Humanity's preparation for this day went far beyond what anyone had imagined. The Council was about to learn that they hadn't just started a war with Earth. They had awakened a sleeping giant that had spent decades preparing for this very moment. Captain Robert Wells stood on the bridge of the EFS Vengeance, Earth's first true battleship, as it prepared to launch. The massive ship had been built in secret inside an asteroid, waiting for this moment. "All systems ready, Captain," reported his first officer, Lisa Brown. "Operation Thunderstrike is go." Wells took a deep breath. For the first time in history, humanity wasn't just defending. They were taking the fight into Council space. "Launch all ships," he ordered. "Let's show them what happens when you push humanity too far." The asteroid's surface cracked open, revealing not just one but 50 battleships. Each one was built using a combination of human ingenuity and reversed-engineered Council technology. The Council had never imagined that humans could build such a fleet in secret. In the Council's main chamber, alerts blared as their sensors detected the human fleet emerging. "High Commander," a Council officer reported, his translated voice shaking. "The humans have battleships. They're launching an attack into our territory." The High Commander slammed his fist down. "Impossible. They were supposed to be primitive. How did they build these without us knowing?" Back on the Vengeance, Wells smiled as he received reports from Earth. Dr. Miller's latest invention was working perfectly. Their ships were completely invisible to Council long-range scanners. "All ships, form up," he commanded. "Remember your training." The Council thinks they know how space battles work. Time to prove them wrong. Instead of following traditional space combat formations, the Earth fleet split into small groups. They moved in patterns that made no sense to Council tactical computers, which were programmed for conventional warfare. "Sir," Brown called out, "Council defense fleet approaching. They're using standard attack patterns, exactly like our simulations predicted." Wells nodded. The Council's biggest weakness was their predictability. They had been the strongest force in the galaxy for so long that they'd stopped innovating. "Launch the drones," he ordered. Thousands of small, unmanned craft shot out from the Earth ships. But unlike normal drones, these didn't attack. Instead, they created a complex web of quantum interference, something the Council had never seen before. "Enemy ships are losing sensor contact," Brown reported with a grin. "They can't track us through the quantum web." The Council fleet fell into chaos. Their advanced targeting systems were useless, their formations broke apart, and their commanders couldn't understand what was happening. "This is impossible," the Council fleet commander shouted. "These are not proper battle tactics. This is not how space combat should work." But humanity didn't care about proper tactics. The Earth fleet struck from multiple directions, using the confusion to their advantage. Council ships, designed for long-range energy weapon battles, found themselves overwhelmed by Earth's close-range fighting style. Wells watched as his fleet tore through the Council's defenses. "They thought technology alone made them superior," he said to his crew. "They forgot that humanity's greatest weapon is our ability to think differently." The battle turned into a complete rout. Council ships, unable to adapt to Earth's unconventional tactics, either retreated or were destroyed. For the first time in thousands of years, the Council had lost a major space battle. On Earth, Commander Reed received the victory report with satisfaction. "Send word to all our hidden bases in the solar system," he ordered. Operation Thunderstrike was a success. "Begin Phase 2. Dr. Miller's voice came over the comm. "Commander, our spies report the Council is in complete disarray. They never imagined we could strike back like this. Some of their member species are already questioning their leadership. Reed smiled. Good. Keep pushing. The council thought they were punishing the primitive species. Instead, they've awakened a force they can't control. As the Earth fleet secured their first victory in council space, more ships emerged from hidden bases across the solar system. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, building up forces that could take on the entire council. Captain Wells looked at the star map showing their next targets. "Send a message to Earth," he ordered. "Tell them the Vengeance and her fleet are advancing." The council wanted to see humanity's true nature. Well, they're about to learn what happens when you threaten a species that never learned how to quit. The war had truly begun, and humanity was just getting started. Major Tom Wilson couldn't believe his eyes as he stared at the holographic display in the diplomatic chamber of the HFY Vengeance. Standing before him were representatives of 3 different alien species, each one previously enslaved by the Council. "So, you're telling me there are others who want to fight back?" he asked. The tallest alien, a blue-skinned being named First Speaker, nodded. "We have watched Earth's resistance with great interest. For 10,000 years, no one has dared to challenge the Council like this." Earth's successful attacks had done more than just damage the Council's military. They had shattered the myth of Council invincibility. Now, other species were reaching out in secret. Back on Earth, Commander Reed reviewed Wilson's report with growing excitement. "How many species are willing to join us?" he asked through the secure quantum channel. "At least 15 star nations want to ally with Earth," Wilson replied. They'd been gathering weapons and ships in secret for centuries, but none dared to strike first. We showed them it was possible. Dr. Miller, who had joined the command meeting, leaned forward. "Major, tell them we're willing to share our shield-breaking technology. It's time to form a real alliance." The next few days saw intense but secret meetings. The HFY Vengeance became the birthplace of what would be called the Free Species Alliance. Each member brought their own unique technologies and battle tactics to the table. "The Council never let us talk to each other," explained Second Speaker, a reptilian alien. "They kept us isolated, thinking we were alone. But now, thanks to Earth's example, we're finally uniting." Wilson coordinated the forming of joint battle plans. The former slave species had technologies Earth had never seen, while Earth's innovative battle tactics were completely new to them. Together, they began creating strategies that would change the face of galactic warfare. "Look at this," Wilson said to Reed during a secured transmission. "The Duracs have stealth technology that makes our ships completely invisible. The Mirians can transmit energy through subspace. Combined with our quantum web tactics," Reeve finished the thought, "we can hit the Council from directions they never thought possible." The Council was already struggling to handle Earth's unconventional warfare. They had no idea that an alliance was forming right under their noses. Their own communication network, which they had used to control their empire, was now being used against them. On the Vengeance's bridge, Captain Wells received the first reports of joint operations. "Sir," First Officer Brown called out, "the Durac's fleet just destroyed 3 Council outposts using our tactics. The Council thinks it was us. They still don't know about the alliance." The Council's grip on power was weakening. More species began quietly reaching out to Earth and its new allies. Each brought their own reasons for fighting and their own unique contributions to the war effort. "They kept us apart because they feared this very moment," First Speaker told Wilson during a strategy meeting. "The Council knew that if we ever united, their power would crumble." In her lab on Earth, Dr. Miller worked with alien scientists, combining their technologies in ways the Council had never imagined possible. Every species they enslaved developed their own ways to resist, she reported to Reed. "Now we're combining all of that knowledge." The Council finally realized something was wrong when simultaneous attacks hit 20 of their key bases. Each attack used different methods, but all showed signs of Earth's innovative battle strategies. "Impossible," the High Commander raged. "These attacks, these aren't just human tactics, but the slave species would never dare. But they had dared, thanks to Earth showing them it was possible. The Free Species Alliance grew stronger each day, while the Council's authority crumbled. Major Wilson stood on the Vengeance's observation deck, watching ships from 5 different species practicing joint maneuvers. "Send word to Earth," he ordered. "Tell them Phase 5 is complete. The Alliance is ready for full-scale war." The Council had wanted to make an example of Earth. Instead, they had created the very thing they had worked thousands of years to prevent, a united force of species fighting for their freedom. And now, that force was ready to strike. Commander Reed stood before the combined fleet of the Free Species Alliance. Through the massive viewing window of Earth's new flagship, the ESS Liberty, he could see thousands of ships from 15 different species gathered for the final assault. "All fleets report ready," Lieutenant Parker announced. "The Council's core worlds are within range." Reed nodded grimly. "Send the signal. Operation Freedom begins now." The largest space battle in galactic history was about to start. The Alliance fleet moved forward, using Earth's quantum web technology, combined with Dirac's stealth systems. They were completely invisible to Council sensors. On the Council's capital world, the High Commander was in denial. "How could we lose control so quickly? First Earth defies us, and now all our slave species rebel." His aide burst into the chamber. "Sir, multiple fleets just appeared inside our defense grid. They're everywhere." The Alliance attack hit like a thunderstorm. Earth ships led the charge, using their unconventional tactics to break through the main defense lines. Behind them, ships from former slave species struck at targets they had dreamed of hitting for centuries. Captain Wells, commanding the ESS Vengeance, watched as Dr. Miller's newest weapon went to work. "Fire the phase disruptors," he ordered. Beams of energy that seemed to bend reality itself shot from Earth's ships. The Council's supposedly impenetrable planetary shields flickered and died. "Impossible," a Council commander screamed. "Those shields have protected our worlds for 10,000 years." "Not anymore," Wells muttered. "Dr. Miller sends her regards." Major Wilson coordinated the combined fleet's movements from the ESS Liberty. Each species brought their own special weapons to the fight. The Durax's invisible ships struck from nowhere. The Mirian's energy weapons bypassed all defenses. Earth's quantum technology confused and disrupted Council systems. "The Council is losing control of their defense networks," Wilson reported. They never imagined they'd have to fight a real war. They'd forgotten how. On 3 Council core worlds, slave species rose up as the Alliance fleet arrived. They had been waiting for this moment for generations. Council forces found themselves fighting enemies both in space and on their own planets. Dr. Miller's voice came through the command channel. "Commander Reed, the Council's main defense grid is down. Their technology was so advanced, they never thought anyone could challenge it. They didn't build in any backups." Reed allowed himself a small smile. Their greatest weakness was their pride. They thought being more advanced meant they would always win. The battle raged for hours. Council ships fought back desperately, but they couldn't match the combination of Earth's innovative tactics and the former slave species' determination for revenge. "Sir," Parker called out, "the Council's palace shields just failed. Their leadership is exposed." Reed's voice was firm as he gave the order. "All ships, converge on the capital. Let's end this." The High Commander watched in horror as Alliance ships surrounded his world. Everything the Council had built over 10,000 years was crumbling in a single day. "How?" he demanded. "How did those primitive humans do this?" The answer came as Earth's ships led the final assault. The Council had relied on advanced technology and rigid tactics. They never understood that true strength comes from creativity, adaptation, and the will to fight for freedom. Captain Wells voiced what everyone was thinking. They thought their technology made them superior. They forgot that the most dangerous weapon in the universe is a creative mind fighting for a just cause. The combined fleet closed in on the Council palace. Their weapons were primed, their crews ready. Thousands of years of oppression were about to end. Major Wilson prepared to send the final message. To all council leaders, your reign is over. Surrender now, or face the combined might of those you try to enslave. As the council's defenses crumbled one by one, Reed looked at the fleet of Allied ships working together. Earth had done more than just resist. They had united the galaxy against tyranny. Send word to Earth, he ordered. Tell them the final battle is almost won. The age of the Council is ending. The age of freedom is about to begin. The Council's grand palace, which had stood for 10,000 years, lay open to the stars. Its mighty shields, once thought impenetrable, had fallen to human ingenuity and Alliance determination. Commander Reed led the final delegation into the Council's great chamber, his footsteps echoing in the massive hall. Surrender, Reed's voice carried across the chamber. Your empire is finished. The High Commander of the Council stood from his ornate throne, his massive form towering over the humans. Behind him, the remaining Council leaders huddled in fear. They had never imagined facing their former slaves as equals. How? The High Commander's voice shook. We had ruled the stars since before your species left its caves. Dr. Miller stepped forward, her voice clear and strong. That was your mistake. You became so comfortable with power that you stopped growing. While you stayed the same, we kept evolving, learning, and preparing. The palace's great windows showed the scene outside. Thousands of ships from Earth and its allies holding position around the capital world. The combined fleet of the Free Species Alliance had achieved what no one thought possible. Major Wilson read from a datapad. The terms are simple. The Council will be disbanded. All enslaved worlds will be freed. A new galactic assembly will be formed where all species have equal voice. And if we refuse, one of the council members asked. Captain Wells smiled coldly. Look outside. Your fleet is destroyed. Your defenses are broken. And every species you ever oppressed is waiting for our signal. I don't think you want to refuse. The High Commander slumped in his throne, defeat finally settling in. 10,000 years of rule, ended by a species we thought were primitives. No, Reed corrected him. Ended by your own arrogance. You could have offered friendship. Instead, you demanded submission. You taught us that the galaxy needed to change. Dr. Miller's communicator beeped. The last Council holdout worlds have surrendered, she announced. The war is over. The signing of the new Galactic Charter took place right there, in the heart of the former Council's power. Representatives from all the freed species gathered to witness the historic moment. First speaker, now representing his free people, turned to Reed. Earth did more than defeat the Council. You showed us that resistance was possible. You gave us hope. And now, second speaker added, the galaxy will be different. No more slaves. No more masters. All species working together, sharing knowledge and resources. The Earth delegation watched as each former Council member signed the surrender document. Humanity had entered the galactic stage as defenders of freedom rather than conquerors. Reed spoke to the assembled representatives. Let this be remembered not as the day the Council fell, but as the day the galaxy became free. Earth pledges to help rebuild what the Council destroyed. The human spirit proved stronger than our technology, the former High Commander admitted as he signed the last document. Perhaps we have much to learn from you. Dr. Miller nodded. That's the difference. We never stopped learning. And now, with all species sharing knowledge freely, imagine what we can achieve together. As the new Galactic Assembly took shape, ships from Earth helped distribute resources to worlds that had suffered under Council rule. The former slave species, now free, began rebuilding their civilizations. Captain Wells, standing on the Vengeance's bridge, watched as the combined fleet began peacekeeping duties. Send a message to Earth, he ordered. Tell them it's done. The stars are free. The victory celebrations across Earth were matched by similar scenes on countless worlds. Species that had been separated by Council laws now met openly, sharing cultures and technologies that had been hidden for millennia. Major Wilson, coordinating the post-war efforts, smiled as he looked at reports from across the galaxy. The Council thought they were punishing us by attacking Earth. Instead, they gave us the chance to make the galaxy a better place. Commander Reed stood in the new assembly chamber, where representatives from all species would meet as equals. The Council's reign of oppression was over. In its place, a new age of cooperation and freedom had begun. And it had all started because the Council made one simple mistake. They underestimated humanity's spirit.